do I say this? Nabs D? Would you make a video showing the evolution of your style? That is a bit difficult. People are always asking to see photos of when I was a teenager and, you know, from when I was quite young. But the thing is, you know, when I was that old, digital cameras weren't a thing. I mean, I think they were sort of starting to kind of exist then, but they're sort of, I don't have photographs from like past a certain point. I did have a whole lot of photographs on an old laptop or something, but that died and I lost all the pictures with it. So all the photos of me like as a teenager and stuff, if there are any that exist, they're all in physical form in a box somewhere because, you know, it was a long time ago. Bobo Diddley, how are you? Just want to make sure you're okay after everything that's happened. Well, I don't know. I would like to say I'm okay, but I'm so fucking not. I'm so far from okay. Hopefully I can get some therapy soon. Like I said, just started my medication. Yeah, what I have been experiencing, and it's really fucking unpleasant, is this kind of, I guess it's called dissociation. You know, where you feel like you're not really there, you feel like you're not present. I don't know, so maybe some of you are familiar with it. You feel kind of like you're always floating above yourself, like you're listening to yourself speak, like you're watching yourself do things. Like I can feel it right now. It's awful. And it's particularly unpleasant when you're trying to talk to somebody. Yeah, you just kind of feel like you're drunk all the time. I hate it. It's very scary because it's so unfamiliar and scary. Like it was just giving me like constant panic attacks all the time. So the reason you haven't seen much of me lately is just because I've been kind of a mess, really, like just having panic attacks and taking benzos, and yeah, it's not been super. I'd like to say okay, but I'm not at the moment, but I will be. It will come right, you know, the wound is still fresh. Like obviously I haven't sort of said, you know, what actually happened or anything, but maybe someday I'll talk more about it. Black Metal Broad, how do I get started the best way on opening up a YouTube channel? My best advice when starting a YouTube channel is to make stuff that you would want to watch, stuff that you would find useful if you feel like there's a gap, you know, somewhere. If there are videos that you haven't seen that you would like to see, you know, maybe try and make those. I think a lot of people start their channel by just talking about themselves a lot, and that tends to be pretty unsuccessful. So my best advice would be, you know, find something that you can share with others, like if you can teach people to do things or entertain them, whatever, like that's probably the better motivation. If that helps, I'm sorry if it doesn't. I don't know. Mamita Rex, Hocus Pocus or The Craft? Well, I actually only recently saw Hocus Pocus for the first time. Shocking, I know. And I think those two films are significantly different. So I would say The Craft because I've loved that film like forever. I was a big fan of it when I was very, very young. Semiko 1, how do you handle stress? Do you practice any stress relief exercises? My best way for handling stress, and I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but when I feel like there's too much stuff on my mind, like it's just this kind of horrifying cloud, this just fog of stuff, like just constant thoughts of you know, oh, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, oh, you have to do this. I go for a walk. I'll go for like a walk for like 1 or 2 hours somewhere kind of pretty and quiet, somewhere that there is nobody else, like, and I'll talk out loud to myself. That is a really good way I found to kind of marshal your thoughts and figure out, you know, why you're feeling a certain way. There is some sort of explanation as to why that works, why, like, I can't remember, there's like a name for it, like you're performing one simple task which allows like your brain to do more clearly some other thing. I don't know, okay, I'm not good at explaining things. Basically, when I'm feeling really stressed and overwhelmed, I'll go for a great big walk somewhere scenic and I'll talk out loud to myself. I find that way more fucking relaxing and way more helpful than like taking a bath or watching a film or something like that. Multi-Phantom Emo Girl, if you were in a band, what would you play? I've been in 3 bands, and in all of them I was the drummer, which might be surprising, but yeah, no, I was the drummer, and I love playing drums, but I've also learned to play keys, so I would probably prefer to do that. I think I like to be able to play an instrument that has like a tune. I love playing drums, but I'd be the keyboard player probably. I am learning to play guitar, but I think I'm a very long way away from being able to play that in a band. Noah Schnupp, can you speak Spanish? Love from Argentina. I'm sorry, I cannot speak a word of Spanish. Well, hola. Okay, there's a word. I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know any Spanish, I'm afraid. The Bleeding Baroness, what kind of jobs did you do before or during your YouTube career? I've had many jobs. I think the one that I did for the longest was pizza delivery. I've worked at 3 or 4 different pizza places, and yeah, I delivered pizza. I was very good at delivering pizza. I was fucking fast, I was on the ball. I got more tips than any of my colleagues. I even got like a prize for my good customer service. Yeah, so I delivered pizza. I actually really enjoyed it. The most recent job I had was building shop displays. Very exciting. I would go around to many different shops around the city, and I would build displays of fake phones, mostly phones, and chips and chocolate and hard drives, random products, socks, whatever. Yeah, I built shop displays. Vulgar Queen, do you want any more tattoos? If so, what will you get? Well, I'm sort of planning one at the moment. I have a friend who's a tattoo artist. She's just an amazing artist in general. Probably going to go to her for a tattoo. Pretty soon, actually. I want to do that. Toot sweet. I haven't mentioned it to her yet, but I'm thinking Plague Doctor. I love plague doctors. I don't know why. I just find them very interesting. I find historical medicine extremely interesting. I made a documentary about historical medicine at film school. Plague doctors are nice and creepy looking. So if that's not the tattoo that she does, if I think of something else, I will definitely, I know that I'm definitely going to do that at some point. But also like a ship. I've had like an idea for like a really like big ship tattoo, like right across the back or something. I've had that idea for like absolutely forever. Snipcat, if that's how I pronounce that. Would you like to come back to university and get another degree? Not really. I've given it like a little bit of thought. Like maybe I would do some more film stuff. Like I would, you know, do like a refresher course or something, or maybe specialize in like another area of filmmaking. So possibly, but I have no plans for that right now. Yeah, lots and lots of questions about am I going to stay in Germany or go somewhere else. Like I've always said that if you're not happy with your situation, you should change it, because the world is huge and full of possibilities and opportunities, and if you should never feel stuck in your situation. In most cases, if you're not happy, you should be able to change your life in a way that does make you happy. I really feel like I kind of have to do something. Yeah, will I stay here? Will I move away somewhere else? I have no idea yet. Watch this space. At Queen666, how long have you had your anxiety disorder and how much does it affect you? I've had it all my life. I'm very lucky that way. It's changed and developed a lot over the years, like it sort of attaches itself to different things, if that makes sense. At the moment, it's flailing around, and yeah, at the moment it just kind of recently changed again, and I think that's what's really fucking me up at the moment. I've had it forever. It's just part of my brain chemistry, unfortunately. Flopsy Faye, are there normal people who you sometimes think they have a nice shirt or a cool jacket? Oh yeah, absolutely, all the time. I'll see people out and about and I'll be like, oh, I like that coat. Oh, I love that person's shoes. And I just walk around going like, I don't like anyone or don't appreciate any fashion that isn't exactly the same as me. These are so many good questions. Oh my god, I feel like I could make an hour-long video. Doll Parts 93, who is your favorite vampire character from films, TV, or literature? That is a very tough question because there is a lot of competition, but I'm gonna have to say my all-time favorite vampire on screen has got to be Leslie Nielsen as Dracula. That was legendary. I love that movie. Lara Schmeitz, if you would have the whole world's attention for 1 minute, what would you say? That is an incredibly good question. I mean, I would want to really think about what I was going to say first, but it would probably be something along the lines that I say in every video, which is be nice to each other. Leah Abdelnour, if that's how I pronounce it. Is there a certain filmmaker that inspired you to study film? I don't know if there was a filmmaker in particular. I'm going to say obviously I'm a Tim Burton fan. I think people can guess that by looking at me, and I did kind of grow up on his movies. Like I was hugely in love with and obsessed with his movies from like a very small age. Like before I even knew that he was the guy who'd made all the same films that I liked. For him and Guillermo del Toro, I think, would be my favorites. I don't think there's been any one in particular that I've wanted to kind of model myself after or who inspired me. I've always just wanted to tell stories, write books, make movies. LizLiz28, do you have plans to continue making films like a feature, for example? And would you move to America to do that? I wouldn't move to America. I mean, if I had to spend time there to do a film, I totally would. One does not simply move to America, unfortunately. I've got 2 ideas for features at the moment. Both of them require quite a lot of research first, because I have this real thing for period pieces and stuff has to be like perfect and accurate as much as possible. I've sort of started working on 2 feature films. Whether anything ever becomes of them, I don't know, but yes, to answer your question. April Connolly's written a good question. Do you manage to maintain friendships with people back in New Zealand, and how so? Honestly, I don't know why, but I do this thing where I don't barely ever message people. I have this thing where I don't really talk to people unless I can talk to them in person, because I don't know, it just doesn't feel right It doesn't feel like I'm actually talking to them. I would much rather sit down and talk to somebody in person than chat to them on the internet. So basically I just end up talking to virtually nobody online or on Facebook, which is terrible. I'm sure that most of my friends think that I hate them now. I don't. I still love them and I think about them all the time. I miss them all terribly. But yeah, they probably think I don't miss them because I never write to them. I suck. Dog hats, classic cats. If you were to direct a film, which actors would you like to work with? For one of the screenplays I've got kind of on the go at the moment, I really feel like Andrew Scott would be just like the perfect guy for that. So him, he's just fantastic. He would be so perfect. Show us your guitar and play something on it, please. Love from Hungary. Here's my guitar. It's very beautiful, isn't it? Nice and pointy. Play something. I can't. I'm still like learning the absolute fucking basics. I haven't learned to play anything. It's been a few weeks since I learned anything last time. I was learning power chords, but I've already like forgotten how to do them. Oh, it's really, oh, it's out of tune and all. There we go, that's something. I'm not like super serious about learning guitar or like super dedicated to it, but it's just something I kind of want to do just because I want to learn a new skill. Ali Talenti, if that's how I say it. How do you handle living in a new country and not knowing the language? Do you find it hard to make friends and be involved in the scene? I'm in that situation myself. Ah, are you? Where are you? Yes. I've actually found it a lot harder than I thought it would. I do have some lovely friends, but none of them live anywhere near here, so I don't get to see them very often. Yeah, in this city in particular, which is weird because this city has like more goths and alternative people in it than anywhere on earth, I think. I have found it extremely hard to make friends, and other expats that I know here have also found it very hard to make friends. And just doing kind of everyday stuff, like it's nice and challenging to start with, but it does sort of get tiresome just trying to understand formal letters that come in the post or going to appointments and trying to organize things, legal things and official things when you can't understand the language properly and you can barely speak. Like, that's very hard. Amberlyn 230, should I disappoint my parents and start an all-girl punk rock band or stay in school, get a mundane job and be miserable? Well, I think you can kind of combine those things. Okay, you should stay in school, but you can also start an all-girl punk rock band and get a job that you like and not be miserable. So do that, I would say. I think that's pretty much most of them, at least that's a big chunk. They've really come through. Those were some seriously fucking good questions. Like I said, I could totally sit down for an hour and just do them. I did like a, you know, this like live Instagram thing recently, and that was actually pretty enjoyable. It was nice and sociable and fun, and I wonder, should I do like You Now or something? I don't know. I've been kind of resisting doing that sort of thing, but what do you think? Would you like, should I do You Now? So like live chit chat and stuff. I feel like the sort of overall theme, like most of the questions seem to be about anxiety or about, there are a lot of questions about will I go back to New Zealand, will I stay in Germany? Yeah, I really, I don't know. We will see. I have no idea really what to do. Kind of thinking about it. I've got some kind of vague plans, but really I just sort of need to learn more about what my options are. Hopefully in not too long I'll have like a better idea of what I can kind of do next, or where to live and be. And yeah, I just want like a nice peaceful, solid, anxiety-free life, and I just want to feel normal. I just want to feel normal and everything to be normal and nice. So thank you so much for hanging out with me here in my living room, and thank you all so much for your questions. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to my channel, become one of us, you know you want to. As always, take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and I will see you next time. Bye!